up from Oregon's Constant Gardener? Welcome to the OCGFAM show to you, my YouTube buddies. What's going on? Let me know in the comments. So today, viewer questions. State Road 84 had a question. He said, if I'm doing the soil recycling, because a while back, Tim McCormick from Culture Biologics was here and did a soil recycling video, very popular video. And he, State Road 84 asked, okay, so I recycle my soil. I got it sitting there. How long can I let it sit there? So I called up Tim and got him on the big screen, and we did a little interview with him. But it got a little more in depth than just about that specific question. We talked a little more about it, and we also talked about the idea of having a kit, because he mentioned some products: the Golden Roots Bokashi, the grain-fed worm castings, the Earth Shine from Green Grow, and One Shot as products you should use for doing that soil recycling. So we thought, why not have a kit with all the things? So just tell you now, we have a kit. It's $73.49 for these when you buy them on the website, and that saves you about 15 bones. And also use the code OCGFAM. Whoops, that's my card. TV Time Mom gave me that card. OCGFAM 2018 on the OCGFAM.com. That'll save you another 20%. So pretty nifty deal. So think about that. I'm going to show you the video where we talked about it, and then I'll talk to you afterwards. Watch this. What's going on, Tim?
How you doing, bud?
Hey, we're here with Tim to answer the question. I have a question for you. Thank you for popping up. State Road 84, one of our YouTube viewers, said, okay, because we're talking about recycling soil. That's the subject of this thing right here. He said, when I recycle the soil, how long can I let the soil sit after it's been recycled?
Indefinitely, really. I mean, how long does the earth sit? You know, it's soil. So naturally, you can, as long as you store it in good conditions, it'll last as long as you need it to last to use it. I mean, it'll last indefinitely.
Okay.
So just make sure you store it in the right conditions.
So what are the right conditions to store it?
So I like a cool, dark place. Nothing that gets real hot. Nothing that gets, too much sunlight. You want it to be kind of tucked away from everything, not in general traffic of whatever you're trying to do.
Okay. So would you store it inside? If you were storing it inside, would you have it like in totes or something like that?
Yeah, I'd have it in totes. I'd have it in garbage cans. Outside, you'll see people do like large used soil piles that they'll just throw a tarp over to keep it out from the moisture out in the conditions, and they'll just kind of pat the tarp down all around it and kind of make sure it's secured.
Okay, so now let me ask you this then. So are there circumstances where something could go wrong? You get some pathogens in there, that kind of sort of thing?
Yeah, you're going to see some good things grow. You're going to see some, you can see some bad things grow.
How would I know if I had bad things growing in there?
Well, the good things are a white fuzz on top.
Okay.
So if you see a white fuzz on top, you're doing good. You're doing what you need to do.
Living stuff.
Breaking down, the microbes are good. Microbes are happy.
Okay.
The bad things you'll see critters running around. Not the good kind. Not the good soil mites. You can see, root aphids. They live in soil. If you have a root aphid problem, then you recycle your root aphid soil, and you don't exactly kill all of them. You can see little aphids fly around your soil, and if you see aphids in your soil, chuck it.
Got it. So it's done. The soil's done if you got that. You're not going to fix it.
Oh, you can't just not put battle, and you're going to spend a lot of time and effort. It's easier to just get rid of it, more efficient to get rid of it and start over again. Get those problems. But some problems you're not going to see till afterwards. For example, up in Oregon, there's weird diseases and weird bacterial infections and fungal infections going around. So, for example, if you store your soil outside just in the open air, and all the rain and all the snow and all the winds blowing all the bad pathogens around, you can see that it's improperly stored, and you're like, it's nice outside. I'll take some and put it back inside. You can actually have some blight and bacterial infections come into your soil. So it's all about how you store it. As long as you store it and you don't see any bad bugs running around, then you're fine.
Okay, so I guess though, for my indoor garden where I'm growing some serious stuff, probably best that I keep my inside soil inside, keep it in some totes. I do not expose it to the outside. That's where I start to run a risk and not worth it kind of thing, perhaps.
Right. You don't want to take outdoor soil and bring it inside.
Okay.
You can take inside soil and bring it outdoors. But usually the outdoors is more exposed to different elements and different pathogens. So.
And I guess also though, if I was growing a big garden outside, my outside soil might not be something I'd feel safe bringing inside. But with the full environment outside, it's a safer environment out there to get rid of those things as opposed to bringing that soil inside.
Yeah,
so outside, inside is the safest bet. Yeah. And when I see some white stuff growing on there, what's that? You said that's good stuff. How is that good? What is it?
The white stuff is beneficial bacteria. It's beneficial fungi. And it just makes a nice little layer on top, and those are the body of the bacteria and the body of the fungi. And that just tells you that your soil is alive, healthy. It's breaking down all the bone meal that isn't quite broken down yet. It's breaking down all the other amendments, like when you put one shot in there. It starts to break that down, breaks down dead roots. So the roots, you don't have roots, it turns back into the soil structure itself.
Well, then let me ask you that. So, excuse me, I'm working in my soil there, and I put my one shot and my bokashi, and I see all that stuff and all the roots disappearing and getting a rich black, I assume, kind of. So that's how I know we're doing business here. It's working. Is when I see the stuff breaking down.
Yeah, you see it start breaking down. You start to see the roots, the root hairs, or the small little root segments will be white when you first break it apart from the root ball.
Sure.
And then you'll see it turn like a brown.
Okay.
Then you start to see it turn like a black, and then it just breaks apart and turns into the soil structure.
Okay, what if I don't see that happening?
Add microbes. Microbes are the facilitator of that process.
Okay.
And if you're not seeing that happen, you're seeing like kind of the roots just stay around. It means you don't have enough worms. Or worm castings. It means you don't have enough. Kashi, you don't have enough beneficial bacteria, beneficial fungi to do that breaking down. So just add it as a top dress or till it in or mix it in, and then let it sit for like 2 weeks.
Okay, well then let me ask you this then. So when I do that, are you talking about just things like worm casting, Kashi, that sort of thing? Or would I need to put some tea in there or those kinds of things to do something with that? Or is it just using those amendments going to be what's going to make it happen?
Well, there's some specific amendments you want to use.
Okay.
And of course, you can rehydrate your soils if you need to, but usually the soil is already moist enough when you're breaking it apart from the root ball that you don't need to rehydrate it. So you don't need the tea. You don't really need those things. But what I would recommend is using one shot, using some bokashi. I know you guys have golden roots up there. Right. OCG. And you guys have grain-fed worm castings. I like to add one shot to kind of recharge the soil, give it some more nutrition. And then I also like to add Earthshine from Green Grow as kind of like a catalyst.
Which is a biochar?
Yeah, it's an activated biochar that kind of activates the microbial field inside the soil. So if you really do want to get the microbes growing and breaking down all the dead roots and breaking apart the bone meal, making it all available for your next round, use some Earthshine to kind of jumpstart that process.
Well then, so let me ask you this. So if you mentioned one shot and bokashi, and grain-fed worm castings and Earthshine biochar. Would that be if I had someone that had a bunch of soil, wanted a kit for their soil, would those be the 4 things you would recommend?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That'd be the bundle. That would be everything you need to recycle your soil, start to finish. The very beginning of the process when you're shucking your root ball to the point where you're planting into it again. You just need those 4 main products. And mix in and amend into the soils again.
Well, we should make a little kit out of that and then sell it on the site there for people for redoing their soil.
It would be pretty convenient.
That is a great idea. Okay. So now let me ask you this. I was just talking with someone, and they said that a lot of times when they grow, some people grow, what they'll do is they'll put the root ball, or they'll put the plant off to one side and then grow the next plant on the other side and leave that root ball in there. Do you recommend taking the root ball out? I mean, obviously you do. Can you see reasons to leave the root ball in there? What do you think about that?
Well, you can. It's called no-till.
Yeah.
No-till setup where you do not touch the soil. Like it's already established as mycorrhizae. It's already established as bacteria. Fungi. So like in its earthworm structure. So you don't want to disturb the worms. You don't want to disturb the activity of the soil. But I always recommend at least taking out the stalk and the main crown of the roots. That just kind of breaks the main tusk away, so like everything else can start to break down. But you can totally plant right next to it if you'd like. Just the important part is if you do that, make sure you have earthworms in there. Make sure you're using a lot of microbes. Make sure you're using the Earthshine and just top dress with it. everything will soak down as you water your top dress in, and you can absolutely do a no-till setup. I always recommend shucking as many roots as possible to get that process going faster.
Sure.
But if you want to preserve what you built and you want to do a no-till structure, just you plant right next to it, take out the main crown and the main stalk, and then top dress with the recycling kit that you just mentioned.
Okay, so this is just a minor issue of how much you chop out when you got your little shovel knife type spade thing. You chop out either just the very base, but you go a little farther out and get a little more out of that to get the bigger chunks out of there so that you can get the thing rolling faster, quicker thing. Okay,
exactly. But everything broken down quicker.
It's a personal preference thing by people. Some people feel differently about how they would do it. Okay.
Yes.
That, I think, answers the question and gave me a good idea with doing the kit for it. So thank you for chiming in.
Absolutely. And, to go along with the whole amendments and the teas, what you can do is take the recycling kit, and then when you actually do replant into your soil, let your first watering you put in there be a tea. And so you can, if you do that, you can add more microbes even as you plant into it, and then you're still facilitating that microbial field. You're still facilitating, that microbial process.
Okay, so you're growing inside, you're growing in pots, you grow all your stuff, you get done with that run, you shuck out your roots, the main root ball of it, you throw that into maybe some toast. I'll do a link to the video you did where we did this to show people that. So you do that, and then you with a couple months of that, and then you're ready to go again with that soil.
Yeah, I mean, even if you amend the right way, and you have a good you made sure to use teas the round before. It could be as quick as 2 to 4 weeks.
Oh, okay, wow. Now, but if you've pulled that main root ball out of there and stuff, any kind of mycorrhizal type thing is probably gonna not withstand the recycling process. You're gonna want to mycorrhize after you get done.
You always want to make sure the bare roots that you do transplant inside of it, or the transplant you are going to transplant, make sure you use a granular mycorrhizae like Bigfoot on the bottoms, and then you can or in your transplant hole when you're already reusing the soil again, and you have some fresh mycorrhizae. There's still going to be some mycorrhizae around. It's going to be existing on the old root masses.
Okay, but we want to get that going quicker.
It's not going to be as active as if we put fresh mycorrhizae spores inside of there.
So if we were out in nature, this wouldn't be an issue, but because we're growing in pots and we're doing it in cycles, we need to jumpstart all of these processes all the way through.
Right, and then continue into the next cycle.
Beautiful. Okay, well, thanks for sharing. Thanks for answering the question.
No problem.
Okay, so that was fun. I sure appreciate Tim doing that. Tim's a really busy guy, but whenever I call him, with questions we have, he takes time out of his day and he makes sure he gets us a thoughtful answer to it. So he's a cool guy. I really appreciate him. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you maybe think about doing some soil recycling. I think it's a thing that's kind of coming up, being popular more so than it used to be. I think as indoor gardeners, a lot of times we would just be like, get it out of here. Let's start over again. But that soil, it gets better with age, gets better with time, and it gets made real slow and it gets used real quick. So I think it's a wise thing for us to think about recycling it. And if you use the kit, don't forget to use the code OCGFAM 2018 to save 20%. I think that's the show for today, other than to say, hey, let me know in the comments what you think about this, what you think about recycling soil, and also if you are doing some soil recycling, how it's working out for you. And let's have a conversation about it. It'll be fun. That's the show. I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. For more information about anything on today's show, go to our website, OCGFAM.com. And if you buy anything while you're there, use the code OCGFAM 2018. It's going to save you 20%, and it's a lot of fun. The OCGFAM show, it's pretty good. It happens every day. It's the OCGFAM show. See you tomorrow.